What's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Walgreens exclusive Marvel Legends Quasar. And I kind of hesitate to call him a brand new figure because I feel that like he kind of started to hit on the East Coast like 3 or 4 months ago. So it's been quite a while that a lot of people have already had this in hand. I know a lot of people have reviewed him already, and he's kind of been around, but he just now started to hit the West Coast. And I didn't find him in store actually. Luckily I was able to order him off the Walgreens website, so I'm glad that they made that an option. But he did start popping up in stores here in Northern California. So yeah, it took quite a while, but they made it happen, and I'm really happy that they made him available on the website. That way anybody who wanted him was able to get it. And he even popped up a couple more times even after he sold out the initial time. So like before, Walgreens used to be like, I used to hate when we would hear that something was a Walgreens exclusive. I would automatically just count it out or automatically think I was going to have to pay more or whatever. But Quasar, it's given me a little bit more faith in the Walgreens exclusive program. So hopefully future releases are as smooth and successful as his release, even though it took a while. Hopefully as they fine tune it, it won't take so long to get everywhere. But anyways, enough about all that crap. Let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with the awesome packaging. It is the standard Marvel Legends style packaging. You are able to see Quasar through the window. You could see the accessories that he comes with. Down here it does say Quasar. On the side of the box we have some awesome looking Quasar artwork. And then on the back we have some more really good looking artwork, and then we have a very brief character description about Quasar, talking about the quantum bands and all that good stuff. Over here we have the same artwork, and that's about it for the packaging. It is collector friendly and all that good stuff, but enough about the box. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look. Alright, so here we have Quasar right out of the box. And you know what? When this guy was first announced, it was kind of bittersweet because I was very excited to finally be getting this character, but then I was kind of disappointed that they were going to be using so much of the Bucky Cap body. But to be honest, now that I have him in hand, I really don't mind it too much. Most of it's covered up by the cape anyways, and then they added new arms and new shoulders, and it just kind of makes the figure feel different enough to where like I'm pretty satisfied with it. I'm really enjoying this figure. I do wish that they gave him new legs, especially because of the pins, you know, I'm always going to cry about that. But I'm happy that the arms are pinless. That's cool. Would have been nice if they gave him pinless knees to go along with the elbows, because I hate when they half-ass it like that. But you know, if they would have just given him new legs, I think this would have been a perfectly fine reuse of parts, you know. This torso covered by the cape with the new arms and some new legs, it works. Even as it is right now without new legs, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I think that he came out really cool. The cape looks nice. It sits on there very well. I do wish that the cape had a peg so that we could peg it down and it really just kind of stayed secure. But as it is right now, the way that it goes around the neck and fits over the shoulders, it makes it pretty secure and it stays in place well enough. So, you know, I'm okay with that. And then we have the star pattern on the inside of the cape, which looks really good. And yeah, just in general, I think it's a pretty good looking figure. And you know, when I look at it, I don't automatically think to myself like, oh, another Bucky Cap body or another Bucky Cap repaint or whatever, because most of it is covered up enough, and it, you know, it feels like a new enough figure, to be honest. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. But let's go ahead and get in close and take a look at some of the details. So starting from the top with the head, I think this is a really nice looking head sculpt. They did a good job with the face details. It definitely has like an old school kind of vibe to it. Kind of reminds me of Flash Gordon or something like that, which is very fitting for Quasar. So yeah, look at that. This is a good looking head sculpt. Nice details on the face and stuff. The eyes look good, even though they are kind of hard to see right here with my lights kind of blasting them in his face. The eyes look nice. They're very well painted, and there's a bit of a shine to them, so that's always good. And then for the hair, as you can see, he has blonde hair with a little bit of a brown wash in there. And that looks really nice. And one thing I really like about the hair and the head and stuff is that even though the hair is a separate piece from the head, it sits on the head very nicely. With some Marvel Legends, the hair doesn't sit quite right and there's gaps, and it kind of makes it look like they're wearing a wig or something, you know. But in this case, I think they did a good job with it. The hair sits on the head very nicely. So yeah, I like it, man. It's a good looking head sculpt. Moving down into the body, starting off with the cape here. As you can see, he's got the emblem on the chest, which looks really good, and it's painted very nicely. I really like the design of this cape and the way that it covers up a lot of the upper chest here, making the Bucky Cap body even more unrecognizable. So that's a good thing in this case. But yeah, I think that logo looks really good. And I like this cape a lot, man. Speaking of the cape here, let's check out the design that the inside of the cape has. As you can see, it's got a bunch of stars that are different colors and different sizes, with a bunch of variety. Look at that big old star right there. Yeah, this is a cool looking cape, man. Definitely looks like the night sky or something. As for the rest of the body, the torso is definitely familiar, but adding these shoulders really makes it look different. So that's nice. Then as for the arms, he does have pinless elbows, which look good. And then he does have his quantum bands. And the quantum bands are pretty nice, but as you can see, there's a little bit of sloppiness in there. So I might have to clean that up, or I just might turn them around and not worry about it. Because these are a separate piece, so if you want to remove the hands and take these off, you can. And then maybe you could use these arms for customizing or something, so that's always good. And then the legs are familiar. You know, we've seen these legs a million times already at this point. But the feet are different, which is nice because a lot of times on figures that use the Bucky Cap body, the feet are too small. But in this case, they're a little bit bigger and they look good. But yeah, I think it's a great looking figure. Even though there are a lot of familiar parts, the new things that they added on make the figure feel pretty fresh. So I'm happy with it. And I like the head sculpt and the cape. So there's a lot of good stuff going on here. And then for accessories, he doesn't come with a whole lot, but he does come with a couple of small things, including 2 different sets of hands. First off, we have a pair of fists, and then we have a set of flat flight hands. And then we also have these energy effects that fit over his fist, and these are cool. We've seen these a couple times before, but you know, I think they're okay. They're better than nothing, and they are better than some of the other effects that we've seen from Hasbro. So I do appreciate that they included these. Alright, so now for some size comparisons, let's get Quasar in here with some other classic cosmic Marvel heroes. On the left, we have the Marvel Legends Genis-Vell, and on the right, we have the Marvel Legends Captain Marvel, aka Mar-Vell. And you know what? Even though I'm not always happy with the body choices that Hasbro makes, and you know, sometimes it can feel like we're just getting a bunch of repaints, it's still really cool to have like these crazy, obscure characters on my shelf. You know, obviously I would have preferred new bodies for all these guys, but I don't know, there's just something that makes me very happy to have a pretty nice looking Mar-Vell, a old classic Quasar, a Genis-Vell. Like having these guys on my shelf just makes me really happy, even though I do have some, you know, opinions about some of the body choices and just the nature of how Hasbro does things sometimes. But you know, I can't deny that I think it's very cool to have a very full and healthy cosmic shelf filled with like very obscure characters. Like that's some pretty awesome stuff. And then for some more cosmic goodness, here we have them alongside the Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Silver Surfer and the Marvel Legends San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Star-Lord. I think he came in the Thanos Imperative box set that came out years ago at this point. But hey, let me tell you, I think this Star-Lord figure is one of the most slept on Hasbro Marvel Legends figures. For whatever reason, I really don't hear people talk about this figure that much, but this is like the best Star-Lord that can possibly be done. You know, like everything is perfect. The suit is good, the paint is good, articulation is pretty good, and it just, everything here works perfect for this version of Star-Lord. And honestly, this is one of my favorite Hasbro Marvel Legends figures. Like, I think a lot of people might disagree with me with, you know, how awesome this thing is, but I don't know why. I mean, when this guy came out, I was a huge fan of this run of Guardians. I had tried to make multiple customs of this version of Star-Lord. Never could quite get it to like where I wanted it. And then they put this guy out and it was like perfect, you know? So I love that figure. Next up, we have him alongside a couple of classic Avengers. On the left, we have the Marvel Legends 20th anniversary of Marvel Legends Iron Man. And on the left, we have the 20th anniversary Captain America. And then next up, we have him alongside the Marvel Legends 80th anniversary Thor. And this Thor features a cape from Harker Customs. And speaking of Harker Customs, he also did a really nice looking cape for Quasar. So I might have to hit him up to see if I could get one of those. Although I don't hate the cape that Quasar has on now. I think it's fine, but a soft goods one would definitely be better, so I might have to look into that. And then on the opposite side, we have the Marvel Legends Hercules. And then of course we have Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man. And then to get him in here with some big guys, here we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Super Skrull Build-A-Figure and the Marvel Legends Terrax. And then now for some even bigger guys, here we have him alongside the Marvel Legends Blastar and the Marvel Legends Deluxe Thanos. And man, I would really love an old school classic Blastar. This one is cool, but this is like a more modern version. I don't know what's up with him these days. I don't even know if he's in the comics anymore, but this is around the time of like like after Annihilation, like that whole era, this is kind of what he looked like. In fact, I think this is what he was. Isn't this what he looked like when the Guardians were like in that jail, or when Jack Flag and Star Lord were in the jail and they kind of had to fight Blastar? I think he had this kind of look. But anyways, I would love an old school classic version to go along with old school classic stuff like Quasar and Thanos, you know. And if you're a Marvel Legends collector, then chances are you probably have a million figures that are based on this body. So for the articulation, I think most people know exactly what's going on. But let's go ahead and take a very quick look, starting off at the head. He does have a ball hinge at the neck, so you are able to get him to look down to about right there, which is pretty nice if he's kind of like flying over somebody looking down at them. That works, and you could get him to look up to about right there, which is pretty good for flight poses, and then the torso kind of helps out with that a little bit too. So you could definitely get him into some convincing flight poses. So that's nice. Yeah, see, I think he looks good, man. And then we do have some side to side and a little bit of tilt for some attitude. For the torso, he does have an ab crunch. Bam! That crunches forward a really good amount. Then it goes back to about right there. Then we have a waist swivel. At the arms, we do have ball jointed shoulders that do go all the way around, and then they come up a really good amount, more than I was expecting. And then he has upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, boom. These have a nice bend here, bam. So you could get him into boxing poses. Probably do better than that. And let's see, his arms get in front of him a pretty decent amount. So yeah, that works. And then he does have a swivel at the wrist and a hinge. And then for the legs, it kind of feels like they might have improved on the hips a little bit, because check this out. Like, you could get his legs to go out to the side a really good amount. And you could get him to kick forward a crazy amount too. And then when you do the ab crunch at the same time, man, he could kick the shit out of some cosmic evildoer. Then you could only bring him back to about right there. He does have upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, bam, there we go. That'll work. And then he does have a lower leg swivel. At the foot, you could bring him forward to right there, bring him up to right there, and then he does have rocking ankles. So yeah, again, no surprises at all, but definitely enough articulation for a character that spends most of his time flying around. So yeah, I'm happy with it. It would have been cool if they used a body that had butterfly joints, like I mentioned before. But you know, aside from that, I really don't have any complaints. I think the articulation on this body works perfectly fine, and I'm having a good time messing around with them. Alright, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, I've got to say, I actually like this figure a lot more than I was expecting to. You know, obviously, I'm never a huge fan of using the Bucky body at this stage of the game. You know, it's kind of too late to be using this body. It's very old. It's time for it to retire, and I know that Hasbro's in the process of doing that. But, you know, I feel like most of the time, if a new figure is going to have the Bucky Cap body, I'm probably just not going to be into it. And I thought that was going to be the case here, you know, but I wanted it because it was Quasar. So I got it, and I'll be honest with you, I'm happy with it. I'm okay with the Bucky Cap body. The one thing I do wish that they did was give him different legs. I think that's something that would have improved the overall figure. But aside from that, I really don't have any complaints. I think it does the job. It's a really good looking, old school feeling, classic Quasar. I like the head sculpt. I've heard some people make fun of it and say that it looks like Robert Redford, and it's like, okay, I could see that, whatever. I think it works for Quasar. It has a very old school, classic comic feel. And, you know, the same thing could be said just about the whole figure, man. I think it's dope. You know, I wasn't expecting to enjoy this figure as much as I do. I thought that I would open him up and go, okay, yeah, Bucky Cap body, then put him on the shelf. But that's not the case. I find myself like messing around with it quite a bit and just having fun with this old school, classic, obscure character, you know. So I dig it. I dig it. I really do. So it would have been nice if they would have held out a little bit longer and put him on the upcoming Vulcan body. That would have been nice, but they decided to do it now, and this is what we got. And you know, I could definitely, I could live with it. I think it's cool. I do wish that they give us a more modern Quasar on the Vulcan body. I think that would be nice. Hopefully, once the Vulcan body is like in full rotation, the Bucky Cap body is completely gone. I hope that that's what they do. I don't want to really see Bucky Cap bodies once once the Vulcan body is in full swing. Like right now, it's the in-between time, so it's okay. It's like, okay, you could kind of get away with it, but in the future, hopefully, it's just gone. Honestly, I hope this is the last time we see it. I don't think that'll be the case, but it would be nice. And if it is, they're kind of going out at a high point because I think this guy came out good. So, with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. If you're not aware, I do go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and every Friday at 7 p.m. So come through. Let's talk about toys and comics. If you're a big comic fan, come through on Tuesdays because on Tuesdays, I'm kind of shifting to where the main topic of conversation on the Tuesday lives is going to be comic books. Recently, I've kind of I've just kind of like, I've been getting deep into comics again, and it feels real good and it's exciting that, I have like a platform to sit there and ramble about it for, for a couple hours a week, so if you're into that kind of thing, come through and hang out and let's talk about comics. Thank you very much. Peace.